Hello everyone and welcome to another Torchlight Infinite video. Today I'm bringing another update for the calling Moto. Um, Most likely like day 4, almost day 5. I skipped day 3 because I don't think I had made significant changes at that point to warrant a video, but I have made now. So you've already seen the Traveler kill and the mapping showcase. The traveler kill was basically right after I recorded the day 3 video. So scuffed gear and very low damage you may have seen, but it could be done. Now this is what we're working with in the mapping setup. You can see quite a big leap when compared to the previous video where I think I was hovering around 11 to 12 billion. So, go over the changes. First of all, in the gear, I switched from the other armor into heavyware. So heavyware has a good defensive and a good offensive mod too. So I think it's a very nice option. Especially this one is it's a level 4. I have minion damage, LRS, and some intelligence for additional damage. I dropped these items from the first time I killed the pirates. And so Miniature Voicey has this line here where you get 5% minion damage for every minion that I have. It says for every additional minion that you have, but I think it's 5% additional damage for every minion that you have. I would like to think it's that way. We're running 8 minions, so that's 40% additional damage. 2% additional cooldown recovery for every minion. That also becomes very significant because we're a build that wants to scale cooldown recovery a lot. And I can also auto-trigger this minion's skill, and that basically takes care of the last piece of automation that we needed for the build. So this build could potentially just run around without pressing any single button. I choose not to because I just like to press Dazzling Bloom to bring the minions back to me, and I still occasionally would use the spell skill just to explode things around. Mind Infusion, still the same. I switch from the set amulet into this amulet piece. And basically here, I wanted the Lunar Corona for the +1 to minion skill level. I wanted some seal mana, some injury buffer for extra defense. Intelligence is just a multiplier value. Ideally, you will go for health here just to, get a little bit more defense and some resistances to, fix the last piece of them. I still haven't changed this, but I just recently crafted this weapon. Before that, I was using this staff. Where is it? This one. So this was my previous weapon. So 4 beams, intelligence, and everything here is basically multiplicative. And I crafted this today. This one I hit with the ultimate ember, and this one was already on the item. This is, of course, not a GG item, but it's a decent improvement from the stuff I was using before, which I more or less got on day 1 of the league. Now, candles. So there are certain places where you can spend your FEs to get upgrades. I would say try to get the guaranteed upgrades first and then do stuff like crafting. So after you get like a basic weapon, basic rings, basic amulets, just leave that aside and get like the guaranteed upgrades. Yes, because it's less frustrating that way. You start getting small increments of power, and they end up making it better for you than if you just spend 1000 FE trying to craft a GG weapon. So I just did that, and I got this perfect activation minion. I still think that probably Wind Rhythm is gonna be better here, but Wind Rhythm One, I'm not 100% sure that is going to be better. And this costed me like 400 FE when Rhythm cost 1,200 FE. So for the price of Wind Rhythm, I bought this and I spent like another 400 on a crit damage candle. So now I have servant damage and crit damage candle. And that's why I removed crit damage, which was here. And I've been toying around between high voltage and LA fusion. And I think high voltage is better. I think the shock, because the shock is a base lightning damage that is applied over and over again every time they attack. Since we have so many minions, since they attack so often, I think high voltage and having the actual shock chance is better. That's why I'm running this at the moment. It's level 16, and I feel like it's doing as much damage as Elemental Fusion, which is already level 20. The other things remains the same. I'm running Frost Shield at the moment, so I could even push more damage if I decided to instead go for like Elemental Shock here. But, you know, I don't like dying while mapping. This is annoying, so I'm running Frost Shield. Savage Charge, I'm running Mark here and Mark here. The reason being is, why not on Frost Spirit? Thing is, another of the changes that I did was switch to low life. Low life ended up being more damage for me. After, you know, before it was like less, now it's more. So, you know, testing minions is very confusing. So, Last Stand reduces life regen of minions, and Go for Broke makes them lose life every time they gain overload. So basically your minions immediately just lose all the life and they never regen. They're always at like 1 HP. What happens is that Frost Spirit, if they're at 1 HP and they get hit, they are not gonna that's probably a bug that I need to report, but they basically just stay in the low life mode. They never reconjure, because in order for them to reconjure, they need to actually reach 100 HP, 100% HP. So since they never do, they just run around. They don't attack. They don't do anything. So that's why they are not a reliable source of mark. But they are providing 2 additional minions, which is 28% overload effect. And they are providing, if you get like the aura candle, that also makes it better to run them. And most importantly, they are defense, right? They take 9% of damage away from me, and superpower increases the regen, so they alone are granting me like 200 HP regen. So that's why I like running the Frost Spirit. But, you know, there might be a situation where it's better to just run a defensive aura or another offensive aura, or I don't know. I dropped this Precise Rejuve. I was already running Rejuvenation, so might as well just slot this in there. And you will notice that I'm running many more supports, and that's because of one of the change I made to the passive tree, which I don't remember if I included in the previous video, but I'm gonna talk about it in this one anyway. So I'm running Safety in Numbers and Standard 1 on Eliamp. The best aura to run here is probably gonna be I'm thinking about Precise Weapon Amp, because of the Paralyze. But of course, Eliamp plus Precise Eliamp plus Precise Electric Conversion is a lot of extra penetration. So there might be a case where, you know, running these two is better. But if you want to go for a third damage aura, Weapon Amp definitely works, because the base damage of the minion is physical and they convert that to lightning. Arguably, Charge Flames also work because they get like flat fire damage. But yeah, I don't know. Probably not worth it. Okay, heavyware. Okay. Regarding the passives, I switched to Warlock. Again, I don't remember if I talked about this in the previous video, but maybe I did. So, Indifference gives me more CDR, and Off the Beaten increases the support skill level and fixes the mana reservation. And that has a very interesting interaction, which is you will see something like Precise Rejuvenation here costing 29 field mana. And if I remove this, or not costing, but I had 29 mana left and now I have 26. Why would that be the case? Well, that's because Of the Beaten track sets the multiplier to 95% instead of 100%, which means that every support that you add here that doesn't have like a flat added mana multiplier reduces the reservation cost of the skill. That's why having Elemental Duo here is better than not having it. See, I'll remove this. See, I lose a bunch of mana. So that's one perk of the Beaten track. And on top of that, it increases the level of this by 4. And I have +2 because I'm getting this point here with all skills. All skills level means support, auras, active skills, everything gets increased by 1. And I dropped the slate with that as well. Which, you know, these mods are not the best, but +1 all is just amazing. And these are the 2 slates I changed as well. Very important, I bought the level 21 Green Phantom. You should do this as soon as possible. And I finally upgraded the separate control center to a higher overload per minion. I had like 10%. Now I have 14%, which is a fairly significant increase in the overload effect. So that's pretty much what I have in terms of upgrades. Now, next things to chase for. Breastpin. So, Breastpin is probably gonna double my damage, if not even more, because it used to just give you aura levels. Now it actually gives you minion levels. So Breastpin is gonna be a big one. Another one will be to get a Minotaur Void Sea with that is level 100. And in a level 100, I can actually craft out of here, but I can actually craft a +1 or +2 spell skill level. So that will be more levels. I'm crafting this helmet with which I will cap my chance for minions to deal double damage. And the idea here is to get the dream craft that will either give me the curse electrocute or it will give me elemental shock. And you will see it here. It's the advanced interpretation, by the way, not the regular one. So here in, I think it's leisure, no, the delighted. Here, romantic. So you can get, I've already gotten Bond of Archery twice for some reason, but you can get up to level 30 elemental shock with a 6-second cooldown, which I think it's lower than the base cooldown of the actual skill. You can get level 20 electrocute permanently on enemies. So nearby enemies within 10 meters are permanently cursed. So it's the curse aura. And yeah, I think those are the best options. So any of these two is the one I'm trying to hit. It's gonna be probably expensive, and I don't even know if doing it in this base it's worth. But I don't think as this base is going to be a significant improvement in damage. So I'm just sticking with the Fiend Crown for the moment. So Breastpin, the helmet, the Void Sea. I'm thinking instead of Heavyware, it will be better to use a like a regular armor with a +1 or +2 active skill level aura effect. And these also have a very important, a very interesting dream crafting option, which is probably here as well. So you can get this, not this for us, but defensiveness, for instance, extra block ratio. Curtain increases the barrier shield. We can get the indifference, which is in Warlock. So getting this in the body armor and then getting off the beaten track on the staff means that we could switch back to Steel Vanguard and get all the perks of that tree. So this would be a very interesting option. There's also contingency for extra regen, +3 passive skill level, +2 main skill level, 4 FX. So a lot of good things that could be gotten from dream crafting a regular armor. So that's what I think. In the ring also, there are interesting dream interpretation options, which I don't think I have any rare rings lying around. Yeah, I don't think I have picked many rare rings, to be honest. But basically, you can get a curse on hit on the ring, so that will also be another source of extra additional damage. And you will want a legendary aptitude for Horn Ring. Try to get this to up to 150% crit damage and get more command, more crit damage. You know, get a better crafted version of the unique. These boots, you want the corroded for +1 minion skill. Get corrosions here. You know, there's plenty of room for improvement at the moment. So I think the cap has not been reached yet for order calling, and the fact that at this point in time I don't feel like I've spent too much when compared to the previous season, where I think I went for over like 5,000 FE and I didn't break, maybe not 5,000, maybe like 2,000 FE, 2,000, 3,000 FE, and didn't break the 20 billion DPS, provided that was on spiders instead of the Spellburst Grim Phantoms, which I didn't do last season. I kind of did, but then I just switched to another build. So the investment that I have put at the moment is less than what was put last season for less damage. So I think it's this character is in a better spot, and I think it has potential to reach the probably 1 trillion, maybe once I actually get good crafted gear. Don't sleep on how much getting, triple T1, quadruple T1 weapon would do for you. It's like 30-40% damage increase easy. And once you're on 100 billion, getting a 40% damage increase, it's fairly noticeable. Once you start getting to the hundreds, the multiplicative scaling just becomes crazy. So I think that's all. um I'll continue to do some farming. I've been doing some misbale. I've been doing some mapping. Cards give you a lot of things. I think I exchanged like 100 FE on cards. I was at like 4 FE and I'm like 119 and I just spent already. So farm your cards with the league mechanic, or if you have card pets, put those in as well. Okay. Before I go, I'm gonna do the showcase of damage with like a full mapping setup, which will be using Burning Aggression instead of Kinetic. And instead of full movement speed, I would do something like this for extra command, and more aura effect per command is pretty good, especially since you generate that much from Burning Aggression. So something like this for every 9, or even this that has movement speed is quite nice. I have to run around because you have to be channeling for the spell burst to trigger. But yeah, it looks better overall. So that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Maybe tomorrow or in a couple of days, I'll upload another update. Thank you and have a great one. Also, build code in the description just in case.